is a Union Chapel. See that? Because there's a casket.
Speak about his kindness and compassion, his gentleness and strength.
Coffin.
We could stand up here and read for days, weeks, months, and only begin to scratch the surface of the significance of his life. But they say a good eulogy needs a theme, so I've chosen one. I want to talk about how reckless Jesus was. You could say it was his recklessness that has brought us here tonight. Some people care about rules, about keeping them, about what others might think if we were to break them. They care about staying in the lines. Don't get me wrong, Jesus had a deep love of God's law, the heart of it anyway. It was the man-made laws and creeds that he didn't care much for. And in this sense, he was reckless. He wasn't afraid to lay his hands on a leper in public, to have a dinner party with swindlers, or to work on the Sabbath by healing a lame man. He was reckless with the rules of men. Jesus was reckless with his words, too. He'd go around telling people their sins were forgiven, telling people that their faith had healed them. He told people to love their enemies and pray for those who persecute them. He said that when struck, we should turn the other cheek, when robbed, to give away our last shirt. He called the religious leaders a nest of snakes and sons of the devil. He claimed to be the bread of life, the true shepherd of Israel, the gate, the door, the way, the truth, and the life. He told us to eat his flesh and drink his blood. He was reckless with his words. He was reckless with his time and energy too. He would preach and heal and serve and then do it all again the next day. He was reckless with his power, giving it up, even stripping down to a servant's loincloth and washing the feet of his students. He was reckless with his authority in the temple, turning over tables, claiming that he could tear it down and rebuild it in 3 days. He was so reckless. Perhaps if he'd been more cautious, more reserved, we wouldn't be here tonight. His recklessness has brought us here, but we also know better. It was not just his recklessness, but ours. We're here because we have recklessly drank the wine of unholy communions, of hate, of envy, fear, prejudice, and pride, of greed, resentment, self-pity, of envious entitlements and rage and every other ugliness that festers in the wounds of our broken race. This is our unlawful claim. Here is our broken kingdom, shoddily established, beset by endless war, propped up by a power preserved only by the spilling of blood. A world swerving wildly through the guardrails and over the precipice of anything good and true. This is our illegitimate kingdom, freewheeling, death-dealing, downward spiraling, make it up as we go, fashioning the world in our own shattered image unto our own twisted end. This grave we sit before now is the evidence and inevitable outworking of our human kingdom, now unmasked as the inhuman kingdom, revealed at last as the kingdom of death. And each of us has played our guilty part. We have been reckless. Our recklessness has covered the earth in darkness. For a moment, we stand graveside, and the darkness parts just long enough for us to see the horrors of the things we have become. And we are reduced and enraged, broken and despairing. For the settling weight of such a great conviction is more than we can bear. We see ourselves in stark relief, too poor, too enslaved, and too powerless to bring about our own release, redemption, or absolution. We are here tonight because we did not know the hour of our visitation, nor the things that made for peace. What have we done? In our recklessness, we have killed God. Where then is our hope, if we have hope at all? Hope itself, love itself, has been nailed to a cross and drained of life. This is the crowning achievement of our failed kingdom. Who will rescue us from this kingdom of death with which we have been so long aligned? But we come tonight to also remember this cosmic collision of recklessness. A crucifixion becomes a cross when the recklessness of our inhuman kingdom collides with the reckless sacrificial love of heaven. If there is one thing we can cling to tonight, may it be the hope that his love outpaces our betrayal. It was our recklessness that brought us here. It was your recklessness that brought you here. Our only hope is that your recklessness prevails.